Let's go. Mic check 1 2 1 2. This the new podcast. What is you gonna do? Technically, the shit ain't new. We got a shitload of episodes out now, and we appreciate everybody that's been following us.
We gotta be up close to 50, man. Like we put these out.
Yeah, we got some work in. We got some work in right now.
Y'all thought we wasn't like we gonna be famous. You can tell my drink's starting to kick in. I'm getting loud in the early intros.
Hey, we appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, YouTube, IG, Facebook, all that stuff. Make sure you're sharing it to everybody and anybody. And if anybody who finds us offensive or doesn't like what we're saying, well, kiss my ass. I don't really give a damn. So,
hey, you know what? I'm gonna steal this. Hey, we're gonna get into giving Bays control of the show, but real quick, we were just kind of doing our B-roll and just kind of shooting the shit like we used to do back in the day in Billings when we'd go meet up at Hooligans and go sit in the corner and people watch, when we were, put out to the pasture there, type deal. Can you not hear me, Chris?
No, I thought my other phone was ringing.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I was like, I know I've had issues in the past when three of us and audio and video. But Bays had dropped a line, and obviously he's been a topic of discussion, based on what he said on SNL. But the other thing that happened through all this is Chappelle's show is available for those that subscribe to Netflix. And I just wanted to real quick just run to my boys, man. And Bays was going on. I'm going to let him lead off so he can kind of let you guys know. Yeah, man, just kind of tell us like your favorite skits or just kind of your impression that you were telling us. I cut him off because I wanted him to tell y'all and why you should, if you've never really seen Dave Chappelle in that era, you should go watch those. Not the third season. Watch season 1 and season 2. Third season, he didn't have anything to do with it.
I would say episode 1 of the Chappelle Show. And I remember when it came out. It was 2002. It was me and my dog 40. We was in our off-campus, no on-campus apartment. We moved out of the dorms. And so I was like, yo, we got to watch the show, man. Dave Chappelle got a sketch show. I know it was going to be funny. So the show started off. It was, had some funny skits. It was kind of like, medium. But then the last skit was Clayton Bixby, the black white supremacist.
Man.
And I was like, yo, it was such a genius skit that you're so caught admiring just the artistic value of the skit while also acknowledging just kind of like just the funniness of the skit. So you're caught between these two mediums like, yo, this is fucking crazy. This is genius. You're sitting back like, yo, he's going to get canceled. How the hell did they who co-signed on this skit being greenlit to go to national TV and they got it off? I was like, yo, and I was like, hey, well, shit. He'll get about a week.
Yep.
And I guess he went out with a bang. But that damn skit right there, that was the one that hooked me out. I was like, oh, he got something cooking, boy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Go ahead, Chris, man. Like your favorite. I mean, we were talking about him before we've got Bays on. Like, let America know.
Honestly, like I'm torn, man, because like any of like the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Stories, like just one, it shed some light on how great of a storyteller Charlie Murphy was.
R.I.P.
And then
I agree.
The fact that like when Dave Chappelle embodied Rick James and Prince, and like it was such to a point where like Jesus Christ, this dude is gonna get sued by everybody. But then you saw like Rick James in it, and then like they had an interview with Prince. I don't know if anybody saw that, but like Prince was actually a hooper, so it was just like, damn, Charlie Murphy was serious. So like, yeah, the True Hollywood Stories did it for me. Like just like to shoot the ball, shoot it. Like the True Hollywood Stories did it for me.
Yeah. And
game blouses.
Yeah. So me being the historian on these weird things, just to back both these guys up on theirs, and then I'll talk about mine, and I'll tell Bays what I told Chris before we got on. When Eddie Murphy got his Mark Twain Nobel Prize, Dave Chappelle showed him the Rick James skit, and Eddie said, it was this, and was this, and that's how it happened. So Eddie Murphy was, when he said Eddie was there, Eddie remembered all of it and confirmed it. Dave Chappelle said that on national television, that Eddie co-signed them doing that as well, too, as Rick James. Prince, Dave Chappelle talked about, well, Prince hit me with like a Jedi mind trick because he used my picture on like one of his last albums. Like Dave Chappelle, like holding the pancakes. That was like a Prince album cover. So that's the genius of Dave Chappelle, of how true and what he was. The Clayton Bigsby, I remember that same day. I was watching it with Andrew Blakely, who is one of the all-time great Division II receivers, should be in our Hall of Fame. I don't know what's going on with that. But we watched it together. It was his senior year, and I was like a redshirt freshman. I remember just like, I like laughed inside, but my mouth was like this with Clayton Bigsby. I was just like, because, I was like 19 and I'm in Missouri. And anybody that has lived in rural Missouri and understands the history of the country, you're like, did he just do that on national television?
Yep.
They didn't say he's in Kansas. But so I just wanted to just validate that there's no wrong answer to this. The ones I thought of is how Dave Chappelle skits are still valid today. And the ones I thought of are the racial draft. That's incredible how this guy predicted Tiger Woods' fall in 2004. That didn't happen until 2009. He was getting chased with golf clubs. If you didn't get drafted by black people, I don't know what happened, Tiger. So glad to see he's playing well because you know how much I'm a fan of that guy. I would say Black Bush has been incredibly, a sombering experience because go back and look at 2008 to 2016. What oil? Did Chris brought up? What oil? Stuff oil. What bitch you cooking? Gonna ask questions. I know black people. I mean, my God, like, how much is that standing up with everything going on? What was the question? How can black people rise up? Can they?
They can't.
Bing, that is correct. This was 2004 in a skit he did this. He did some other ones that were funny, but like, why did black people distrust the government? He was asking these on a show with all sorts of different people that were not actors. That one, Trading Spouses, I think really has a lot of weight that's underrated. With Leonard Washington going into the suburbs. And then honestly, man, I would have to say just one. I think the combination of having making the band with Diddy.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
And having the Knee-High Park puppet show with Q-Tip, and then having Snoop, and they were talking about venereal diseases. Like, that was all in one episode. And then, I obviously loved everything. I mean, this dude, come on, man. Piss on You by R. Kelly. I mean, that's
drip, drip, drip. It's on you. It's on you.
Hey,
Your Honor, it's digital. Look, that just came out of nowhere. It's digital.
America, go watch season 1 and season 2 and realize how far we have not come since 2004. It's like we've done some good things, but some things are still in effect. And this guy at a younger age was talking about it. So shout out Dave Chappelle. Bays, I took a little bit more time than I thought. I just feel like Dave Chappelle is basically he's a different guy walking among us and such a great voice. But let's get back to what we were talking about, Bays. Kick us in, man, because you had let us in on some things that were on your mind here about quarterbacks.
Yeah, no doubt. So my question to the group is this. We have these older quarterbacks, right? Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers. We got the young guns coming up. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, my man down there in Houston.
Deshaun Watson, yep.
Deshaun Watson. Where are we going to go in terms of, the quarterbacks, as a defensive end? I hate quarterbacks, but I'm a fan of certain quarterbacks. So I respect the game. Where are we going with these quarterbacks? Because I personally think the older quarterbacks in the league are fool's gold. I don't think that an older quarterback is going to win a Super Bowl in the near future. I feel like it's going to be one of these young lions. So my question to you all, do you feel like the old quarterbacks can still get it done? Or do you think that it's time for these old guys to ride off into the sunset and let the young guns take over?
Well, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, I'm going to let the
Go ahead.
quarterback haters go first. I mean, what
I'm
do I not love about
call back to Chappelle. I'm the biggest hater. The haters playing haters ball.
Yeah. Hey, shout out, hey, the player haters ball. Dave Chappelle
Players haters
will
ball.
drop through the rest of the show.
Oh yeah. So the game, dude, like I'm rolling with the young lions. That's my thing. Like these young quarterbacks, I feel like they're the future. They are the game now. They're not the future. They're the game now. Like they have now. And the reason why is because the game has changed. And to go into full definition, I bring myself into it all the time because coming out of high school, like I was a defensive end. Like at 270, 275, like I was a defensive end. And now like defensive ends are 235, 230. Your interior guys are like at the max 295-ish. And that's on the heavier side, guys. But like your linebackers are now 220, 215, and are running legitimately sideline to sideline. So that pro style quarterback, that 5-step drop, that 7-step drop, and read, now, buddy, you ain't got time for that no more. Like, we coming. Like, it's the whole thing. And I take nothing away from the Tom Brady's, the Big Bens. And I don't know if you can really count, even though I guess his age will make you count him in this, but Aaron Rodgers, even though he's a very athletic style old quarterback.
Well, he's technically because Chris.
He's like a unicorn. He's in between. He's a unicorn.
Right.
Well, he's old. He's old. You know,
he is old.
Because he's being based on. So he's 37 years old. He's old.
So put him in that old dog category. Like he's one of the few.
He had 3 years off. 3 years of his career he didn't play. So
right.
That's why he's not as old. He's got fresh legs.
So like you need to be able to move now, and you need to be able to move and throw the ball with accuracy. You need to be able to move and pull off that spread offense. That's the hybrid spread offense that's in the NFL right now. And I don't think like you're seeing the end of the Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Dan Marino era right now. And it hurts me to say that because I'm a Dan Marino guy. I am a Daniel Constantine Marino guy. But if you put Dan Marino in this league right now, yeah, he'll throw touchdowns and he'll probably get yards. But Dan Marino would not survive the entire season because one of these young defensive linemen, these blitzes, these exotic packages, if they get a clean shot on them, like it's a wrap. So I feel like this is a mobile quarterback's game. And for so long, not to bring race in it, like try not to bring race in it, like you got to be a thinker at quarterback and be able to sit back in the pocket and read the defense. Yeah, that's true still today, but now you got to be able to read the defense and run at the same time. So I'm going with the young Lions.
Go ahead, quarterback hater.
I'm going with the young Lions too. The inconsistency between Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Aaron Rodgers is not quite there yet because I feel like he's like coasting in between, right? It's kind of like you got those fault lines. He's like in the fault line, right? So he's a little weird. Big Ben, he's like
different. He's different.
Kind of there, yeah, kind of there with Aaron Rodgers. So they're not quite what I would say the traditional older statesman quarterback. But I'm going with the young regime because, number one, yes, they're mobile. They are playing a different game that's more relevant to the defenses that are presented to them on a daily basis. These older quarterbacks sit back They may kill you, you know, 1 game, 2 games. But when you look at like the games that they playing, they have some stinkers, dog.
Yeah.
They're just not really. It's not consistent, dog. It's just like you think that, okay, I got Drew Brees, I got Tom Brady. Oh man, I'm gonna eat them up. No, they come out there and them defenses be slashing them. So I like the young guns. I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson. That's probably my favorite, even though Pat Mahomes, I love the way he throws the ball. Deshaun Watson, not really a fan. Russell Wilson, I'm begrudgingly a fan. You know what I'm saying? Begrudgingly a fan. Russell is dope. He's dope.
Tell America why you're begrudgingly a fan of Russell.
Because Division I has this rule in football bowl subdivision where you can transfer if you are a graduate student. So Russell Wilson, and you know what? You know who I blame? I blame North Carolina State. North Carolina State did not allow Russell Wilson to come back. He was drafted in baseball. I forget if he played or not, but he wanted to come back. And they wanted to go with the young gun as opposed to let Russell Wilson.
You remember who the young gun is? You're really doing good education. I'll fill in just a couple spots. You remember who it was?
I'm forgetting his name right now, and it's on the tip of my tongue.
I can tell you who it is because it'll help your story. It was Mike Glennon. It was Mike Glennon.
Yes. Bum-ass Mike Glennon. Bum. Bum. Right? And so you leave this polished quarterback to come into my conference, and he joins Wisconsin with one of the strongest running games of the past 3 decades and a mobile quarterback. And they've always had sneaky, solid receivers.
Yep.
With a strong defense.
Shout out to Willie Austin.
Lee Evans. Like, come on now. They have respect.
Chris Turner's favorite. Chris Chambers is a Wisconsin.
It's like
even though he's Miami born and raised, I believe, but Chris Chambers made me want to go play at Wisconsin. I thought he was 6'5". I didn't know he was 5'.
So it was like, come on, man. It was like stealing, right? So yeah, man. I'm going with the young guns, man. I'm going with the young guns, the young Lions.
Okay. So I love how you guys both kind of talked about this in a couple different ways. And I think you guys are attacking it from different angles than, to me, honestly, what the question is asking. Because to me, I think you guys, between the both of you, named who we'd call the old guard. You know, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger. Aaron Rodgers has to be in that mix based on the fact that me, him, and Paige were all born in '83, so he's 37. And I'm missing. Who am I missing? Because Russell Wilson's not there yet.
Aaron Rodgers.
I really need to get the
so let me do it again. Tom,
so we can cut this one.
Tom, Drew,
Let me get some.
Ben,
So we only want to cut this.
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers. And who else is like an old guy?
Dude, it's okay if you use the knife.
Oh, well, winning games, I don't know. But if you're throwing trash, then Flacco.
Yeah, like
But
Chris
only
was trying to
this
throw Flacco
side.
when we were out there, and I'm like,
Flacco?
Joe
Flacco?
He's trash, but he's still in that age.
Flacco doesn't he doesn't fit to that in me because he's backing up. Chris thought he was still in Denver. I was like, dude, that dude is in New Jersey right now.
He's in New York. Yeah, he's in East Rutherford, Rutherford, New Jersey.
He's in New Jersey. Just glad that he passed Joe Montana on the passing list. So for me, we're talking about weird arguments here because when you're talking about the old guard, you're talking about at least 5 guys. Their teams are either winning their divisions or they're going to most likely make the playoff. So what Bays is, I think, saying is, do you say, like, all right, this is going to be it, and we're going to mortgage our immediate future and go get us a young guy? And I think that's what Bays is arguing because you've seen the success, obviously. Patrick Mahomes, you want to talk about unicorns? He's the unicorn. Okay? There's nothing that I've ever seen in the NFL like Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going to set him aside for a minute. Okay? Deshaun Watson, we know what Deshaun Watson's problem is. It's his front office. So we can set him there. Your favorite quarterback, we're going to spend some time talking about him. So I'll get to him later, but we know what his deficiencies are because we spent a lot of time talking about him last week. And this lets you know, America, how serious it is. When you have two former NFL guys, you have a stud defensive player like this who says it's his favorite quarterback. When you have a head coach who's one of the greatest to ever do it in his line of work, talk about this guy and see the disappointment. That's how important Lamar Jackson is to the entire game of football right now. Lamar Jackson is the key, okay? Do you sacrifice? No. And this is why I disagree with both of you guys. You guys are both out of your minds with this. And this is why you need to have somebody that is here. Because here's the bottom line. If you have a guy that can make sure that he is giving you an opportunity to win every week, you have to get to the playoffs first. You have to get there first. And how many of these young guys are getting that? Not named Mahomes, and not named Jackson, and not named Watson. How many of these guys?
Russell Wilson.
Dangerous.
And I'll give you Russ. And I apologize. Russ, because even though we beat Wisconsin too, I can always take Wisconsin beating us. I have no issue with that. Something about a Wisconsin loss that I could take better than a Michigan State loss. I could just take it better. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's this other GQ shaft-looking motherfucker down here. You know, that when he does No Shave November, his old beard connects. But when I do it, I always have a at all. No. So, guys, I think you guys are missing it with this. And it's that these guys know that their lives are over. This is not anything like the only bionic guy out of all this you have to worry about. Drew Brees has a $20 million job waiting for him. He's done probably after this year. NBC is like, come on, get this $25 million and come in this booth. You're a Super Bowl champion, you're a Hall of Fame. Phillip Rivers, as the fiance and I were talking about, and she was like, there's a legit question. She was like, how's Phillip Rivers in Indianapolis? Because I know last year he was taking the train from San Diego. You know, this is the guy that was like, I'm not leaving my family. You think Phillip Rivers can do a year of this if it doesn't get him remotely close to the Super Bowl? And they'll probably make the playoffs, but they'll probably be out first, second round. He's gone. Aaron Rodgers, we know Aaron Rodgers is going to play another 7 years.
Yeah.
So by him being
7? Whoa. 7?
Yeah.
Well, okay, question. Do you think that 7 will be in Green Bay?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because Green Bay is that dumb. They have done nothing to help him. And I'm grateful. The sooner he's out of my division, we can turn this shit into the NFC East, and the Bears can be like 8-8 and get a home playoff game. That's what the fuck I'm waiting for. I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers. Matter of fact, Aaron Rodgers might mess around and come to Chicago just to stick it to Green Bay. Don't think that's not a possibility. And he comes to Chicago in one season, he'll be the greatest quarterback that ever put on a uniform. He played 1 year and throw for 2,500 yards, and the Bears would still win 14 games because he just won't turn the ball over. So that's the thing with this, guys, is that understand this Tom Brady thing, it's 2 years in. Like, they're going to go try to find their quarterback now. Tom is aware 45 is his number because he's made it clear, and he's played himself into the MVP conversation. Ben Roethlisberger has talked about ending it. He's coming close. These guys are all going to be gone in 2 years, Bays, but here's the truth of the matter. Of course, you're going to go with the Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. Let's just go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Let me hear both of you quarterback hating some bitches say it. He is. This guy basically is the Tom Brady of this era because it goes through him until he says otherwise for the next 10 years. That's the truth. The things he does, he has pieces of every great quarterback that we've ever seen in our era. And we, the three of us, are basically the great 80s quarterbacks that we saw. He has the arm strength and release of a Marino. It's just as quick and it's just as powerful when he wants it to be. He has the ability to elude in the pocket like a Jim Kelly, like a Steve Young. He has the big game ability of being cool and clutch like Joe Montana. He proved that. He was down double digits and won a Super Bowl at 20 years old. He has the tenacity to want to beat you badly like a Tom Brady. He has the ability to see the defense and put you in spaces that you don't want to be in, like a Peyton Manning. He has the accuracy of a Drew Brees.
This way.
So you have him there.
And then peel it apart.
But to be done with the old guard is ridiculous because the old guard,
here's the height.
all their teams are leading the division. There's only two or three young guys that have quarterback that have teams.
Where did your height
I have to, this is not an Alabama diss. Tua's got to win a couple more, and then I'll give it to him. Because Fitzpatrick's got them to where they're competing.
Tua not ready yet.
So, but I'm talking Kyler Murray has his team competing. Jared Goff, quietly.
Beautiful.
It's ugly, but it's getting done. Baker Mayfield, young guy,
Trash.
He might be trash, but they're in the conversation for a playoff spot, Chris. That's what we're like. Let's get past.
It's not because of him though. Like it's not because of him though. Like look at the team. Look at what's around him.
That's my practice.
You know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson, obviously, they're in the playoff hunt.
Make a beautiful
and here's the one that, we don't miss on this show, but we've missed in this conversation. It's Josh Allen as well, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm putting
You want to talk about Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen's taken that step. And that's why I want to wait about talking about Lamar Jackson. I actually think we can honestly – I know you got a couple more things, but I think we can really talk about three guys in the last segment because they all are the same player.
Okay.
One of those guys has made the leap because he got – I think it was something Coach O said very well, and we'll get into it more. So, to me, I'm not going to trade anything that's going to give me a chance to be in the final 14 because this year it's 14. Normally it's been 12. If you get me there and I've done a good job of keeping my players healthy, guys, you don't want to get rid of that. Tom Brady's going to play quarterback for Tampa Bay next year. We know that.
You think so? You think he's going to – You think Tom got one more year in him?
Easily. Look how well he's thrown the ball. Dude, I get it.
According to New Orleans game or according to –
Yeah. New Orleans
look, you got your ass whipped.
Hey, I remember we actually talked about this, Baze. I remember the greatest team in the history of the IFL got beat by the same team twice that wasn't on their level either and won a championship with ease.
But said team, the two losses that they had, pretty much had a Hall of Fame quarterback on their team. They also had arguably a Hall of Fame receiver, which I will argue against. But that team did have athletes and players and guys who could do the job.
Yeah, just like we did when we got our ass beat by Omaha twice. We should have went undefeated that year.
I was talking about us.
Sometimes a matchup is just bad. You think if they meet each other the third time, you think Tom Brady's going to lose 3 times? Has Tom Brady ever lost to anybody 3 times in a season?
Probably not.
I don't feel like Googling that, but I would say this.
Well, I can answer. I don't have to Google it. The answer is no.
I don't know if Tom Brady. Well, here's the thing. It's going to be a better matchup because they're going to actually have time to have Antonio Brown incorporate into the core offense.
Say his name one more time. Say his name one more time.
and AB, Antonio Brown, is going to have time to actually get the full playbook as opposed to certain formations that he can eat. So now you set up a situation where you got AB, you got Godwin, you got Mike Evans. So they have some weapons. But
don't forget about Gronk. Don't act like Gronk ain't still got it.
Gronk, you got Gronk. But if you look at Tom Brady throwing the ball, it's one of those things where, okay, Floyd Mayweather, right, when he was at the end of his career, Floyd Mayweather, he got a whole new bottom. Floyd was like this. He said, look here, I know I'm an old lion, right? These young lions coming up want my spot. He said, am I the player that I used to be back in the day, that young lion? He said, no, but I have enough to beat you. So that's how I view these older quarterbacks. Tom definitely has enough to beat you. But the question is, on fight night, which one of these young defensive teams, one of these young Lion quarterbacks is saying, you know what? Legends die every day, B. I'm coming for that spot. So that's the thing. It's going to be hit or miss with these older Lions.
You already missed it. It's as Benny the Jet found out from Babe Ruth, and as Mike Bogan said on Monkeys and the heroes get remembered and legends never die.
Yeah,
because I'm a legend. So this is the prediction that I said, and I'm gonna let Chris get a lot more this time because I've definitely gotten in on this being the receiver.
Oh, you're fun.
I think you're absolutely correct. I think it's going to be a young gun because, to me, I've always said from jumping, I haven't broken away from this. Patrick Mahomes versus the world. I don't think anybody can beat Kansas City.
Inside of its bed, having
Right, that's
a little blanket,
But
and
if you look at the NFC, he's going to get an old head, and we'll have fun during Super Bowl week to revisit this and see how they got there. And that will be a fun pick-em for us to do. Because that's what you're seeing. There's no young. I mean, Kyler Murray's the only young head that has a chance to uproot this. And I love Kyler Murray so much that I have 3 fantasy teams. He's on 2, and Patrick Mahomes is on the other one. So that's how much I love the young blood. Okay, I have financially invested in y'all, and I plan on investing in those young quarterbacks for the next 10 years. So I guess if my draft is actually supporting me and watching my show, like I hope they would, but I doubt they are because they're like, fuck that guy, he's 4-5. Just know that I'm going to draft either one of those guys probably for the next 10 years. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. So I'm with you. Go ahead, Chris.
So I really got nothing else to say, but I want to point out that we are probably the first show that quoted Chappelle's Show and Sandlot in the same episode. Like, I just want to put that out there. Like, not too many shows could do that, but we've done it seamlessly this evening. So, with all that being said, I still think it's a toss-up. Like, the old guard is dying out slowly, but they are dying out. This new wave, of course.
Hey, like Maximus and Gladiator dying. Like, it took Maximus an hour to die.
Yep.
This new wave of quarterbacks, this new wave of softer football is coming in, but it's I guess it's here, and these old dogs are taking a while to die out. So it is what it is. Brady's going to Brady. Drew Brees is still going to put up stupid numbers in that damn dome. Big Ben is going to be Big Ben and throw for stupid numbers and look fragile in the process and still shrug defensive linemen off. Phillip Rivers and his 17 kids are going to do what they do. Aaron Rodgers is still a bad man, and like as it gets colder, that man starts to heat up. So the new dogs, if they want to do it, now's about the best time if you want to start taking over. It's Pat's league, but
I agree. I agree with though, Baze. You're right about that. If they want it, they can take it.
It's Mahomes. It's definitely Mahomes' league. But for Deshaun, for Lamar, for Justin Herbert, the Lion Queen over there in Cincinnati. Like, if they want to take over, now is the time. Fuck Joe Burrow. So I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. The Lion Queen, Carol Baskins is what I call him. Anyway.
How dare you?
So that's a Chappelle show, a Sandlot, and a
Tiger King.
Tiger King.
On that note,
Daddy, you've been
America, another great segment. We got one more coming at you. I think we're going to be able to put a couple topics together that Mike Bazemore has left to finish us up.
Oh, shit.
And give me a minute's coming at you here real soon. We'll be right back. What's good, America?
Fuck Joe Burrow.
Lego.